So ife okumenamena ebyenfuna byewanga lino erya Uganda waye ebivaani ebijja tikikwetaagisa kuba ng'oli saano tikikwetaagisa kuba nga wasoma economics otegeera Uganda weeritambula wova waka butinga ife abaami abalina obuvunaanyizibwa otwalekanga emitwalo 3 emitwalo 4 kukameeza otukomaliikiriza nga tigikaamala ate nga niweeno dizira utyaleke 15,000 waka baguleku nga waka olinawo abaana abato abanywa sukaali n'abasuuwa omubiri babalumusa mu kadwaliro ngaayo osobola ofuna omutwalo olunaku wakobandekawo ku 15,000 12 ntwala ku mulimu 13 naali ekyemisana so nga iwe otuukiriza saawa esaala ya Mukama tuwe emmere yaffe ya leero. Many of Ugandans are working for their bread. Do you expect development ejovame emisolo mu Uganda mu? Nina ekintu kye ndikuwebuuza TD company ya link baasi oba yafunye bizibu ki? Baasi yasooka yafuna akabenje eiraku yagema omuliro eiraku ab'emundu baabalumba. I don't know whether it is confidential, but why is it the same company? That will be another discussion. President wewanga erya Uganda yayagaana ine mukulu naye simbyewo Raila Odinga mu kalulu ake Kenya bawayamuku ono yabeere ku ni Sudan eyo edda ku ni wano tibabeere eno bamukwano ino twasooka monanga wayamuku ni William Ruto aye those tandise proving that is now a senior citizen ku lukalu lwa Africa. Police yatuwa report adobubende aye bukayongere bweyongere n'ebizimba okugwa. Actually Mr. Kundo no munamawulire munange eri ekintu esi frequent ngeno twatoka akaseera nga tunoonya bafiire bameka ngo tigakaalira mawulire no kyekizimbe bizimbe okugwa. It is not good. Aye it is something more current tutuuka akaseera twakibona nga as if it is normal. So ebintu ebifaana bito bikolebweko nendaba eddukiza ab'ekitongole oba Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture n'ekitongole kya Uganda National Farmers Federation bakuteeketeekera omwoleso ogusooka ogw'ebyobulimi aye nga gw'abaana abasomi. The first National Agriculture Education Show gulijja kuba mu kibuga eky'Idinda mu kibangiriza eky'omwoleso enaku d'omwezi nga 8 paka enaku d'omwezi nga 12 omwezi ogw'omukaaga omwaka guno. Minisita w'ebyendegereza Jane Kataha Museveni alijja kubaawo era amasomero agasoba 10 agali kwidde okwolesa iwe omuvubuka aliiyo kire kyenkobye nga kunda yankoba nti emebikamu eprofesa nti saawa eno omwoleso guliyo iwe nono yendo ojja okolera business niwe ojja atunda maadi niwe ojja kuba abantu bifaananyi niwe ojja fumba amere niwe ojja kuba chapati jaayo ofuna ekifo okole ku sente within 8 and 12 onaaba okoze esente era ojamaliza okoba oti government empeire emirimu nga those small avenues edo osobola okolako oku obusente obutonotono you've not thought and olirinda government ekobe nti wabangawo event nga osobola ojja okola esente twete minister wa finance ede ku media center akobe nti abavubuka wabangawo oku ekintu kiti nga kijafana banange mujyangayo. I believe there is unemployment, but inside my heart, in my red heart, I believe there is creativity ekali once, you know. So okuyingira kwa nkumisa tweri abaana abasomi tuli basava tubeeyo then exembayo baba media group tuliteekateeka ekituda ebiseera ebisinga wairenga tulina ebizu bino bino. Life is too short to be serious every time ojjanga kwa abantu weesanusamu. Ekituda Christmas y'omwaka kijaba na kudomezi nga 3 mwezi ogw'omusanvu kusaawa ky'Ebugembe okuyingira kwa mutwalo bakunda aba VIP bajasasula mitwalo 5 ne bakagaba bano ba VIP bajasasula mitwalo 5 aye nga ife abantu babulidde okuyingira omutwalo mulala. Expect a lot of fun, expect entertainment to its fullest. Zana ndakubaayo muliddako mbonanga nambala amasuuti gano ndowooza mu studio mulimbonerako nga nambaire keepu n'ejiini katumalirize Kagaba.
Yes, sir.
Uganda batubanda obutabalika nkaaga na mwenda na kitundu. That's the debt burden.
Obutabalika means what?
Trillion.
Trillion.
Yeah.
Why is it obutabalika?
I think
it was a Soga word meaning
they couldn't be able to count.
Extreme of money. Obviously, obutabalika the trillion. 69 trillion, 69.5 trillions. And we are going to borrow 9.7 trillions. And among the money. I'm forgetting that economics. The money, the monies that we borrow. Still, a big chunk of it, it is swept out by the corrupt mouths. And Uganda tuwewola, buli mwaka tuwewola, and our assets still remain on stake and on. Twabalinizanga sente tujja okwewola kuliya kimbe ndikwetegereza wano the figure dentali kwendanga akobera abantu but kankinonole nti interest oba amagoba ge batutaako gali kweyongera era ne mu financial eno gajja kweyongera kwedo de twewola ne kwetidi kwewola government twababuuza mulina nteekateeka okusasula amabanda ag'ekuliya n'ag'omunda wano ekisooka widening the tax collection within here n'okwongera mu production tusobola okubona nti tufuna esente. Uganda oligibona mukazi nga kafaanana katya nga tutuusiisa empi edifaana dityo doubling our budget.
Doubling the
okay, we don't so much double but almost a third because tunatera otuuka ku 70 over 80.
Some neyanziza n'abali kutubona. Uganda eri munsi ediri already mu kyetweta debt distress. Ensi edirigirizibwa amabanda. Ekyo Abannayuganda bakiwandiike wansi. Twatuukawo tutya wano niwali kyembere ndikoba nti projects capital expenditure or capital investment edisinga kwetaaga sente Karuma Dam yali a lot of trillions, I think something like $1 trillion the twewola nga revenue mobilization domestic tesobola kutuusa ku government kufuna sente edo twewola sente edengudo twewola standard gauge rail yona twendagikola tujja kwewola okutereza Entebbe airport express highway twewola but ekisinga kumala maani nti bwe tudewola okuva maybe Exim Bank of China oba mu IMF oba mu World Bank batuwa sente edo aye emitendera oba terms enkolagana obukwakulizo tweyunayina oba oliawo obutaakuki omukono ekitunigiriza ekisookeramu ekyo twewola sente edo nga tuli investment ready. Amabanda ago gajja okuweranga ne sente de twewola tutudikozesanga na Minister ya Finance ekadirina mu iwanika lyayo
tunumirwe bunumirwe kubaako na sente kwewo
no twadewola bayita maybe omukugunga Mr. Nkunda yakola feasibility study bagichanga balwawo so we don't invest money ate nga atuwoze sente yatandika otaakuki interest. So most of the government projects they were sente tidatandikirawo. That's how we reached there. Secondly, oyogera ku mabanda getulina okusasula titusasula principle kyetwalyese eibanda lyena lye batubanda tulisasula interest rates era trillion almost actually 18% of the budget kwedo obutabalika ananomusanvu lilijja kusasula interest on the debts ti kusasula mabanda nga nti nkubanda emitwalo 80 ojimpe olijja kusasula interest
jowemba wampole emitwalo 80 bankoba ojjataako emitwalo 2
nige tulisasula ku
tulisasula emitwalo 2
exact basigala nga bakakola ki they are still demanding
principle ekaliyo
nga principle is still huge. So kati of course there is an IMF and World Bank by no threshold ensi kwe bagibonera above which it should not borrow again. Era ensi mbitire mu such distress. Even US, its debt is no longer sustainable. Over 120%. Japan, but of course those are huge economies. So if we reach where we are, around 58%, rather around 47% of debt, GDP debt ratio, it is worrying Chimalamu Amani. But we are borrowing to do what? Nechisinga kuleta buzibu. Singa tuwewola twakozesa sente ezo to our entrepreneurs, we put in projects edivamu sente, it could be no problem.
Okwewola tino okubi oba kyetuplaningira okwewola na
kyetuplaningira okwewola planning yesente tetwewoze kubanga kijana resonatinga ku bantu ate n'ekindi kino kankiiseewo katono Mr. Nkunda. Tuleme kulowooza nti public debt yonka n'ekizibu mu Uganda. Ugandans are also privately indebted. Abana Uganda bababanda individually. So why bababanda? Because there are no opportunities for work, for productivity, but kwewola to make sure life moves on. So the government should not tell us only that nerina amabanda yonka. Even you could be demanded privately. So even the private
so Uganda ebandibwa
n'abantu bona abalimu. So way forward erinti akazinga ketuli mukabi, but also in East Africa, Rwanda is also in a financial distress. I don't want to say that we are crying in the same boat. Kenya, the same thing. Their debt is also getting out of hand. But as a country like Uganda, where we don't have access to the sea, we don't have a standard gauge railway. We don't have, because it's actually very costly. There's a lot to worry.
Okay.
Lastly, we need also to see the return on investment. We sent the Twewola to do some capital infrastructure. Are we exporting our power from Karuma? If it is used locally, I want to believe for Naimilimo, such things. Otherwise, debt is still an issue, and government should really address it. Omuntu wawansi asobola otegeera nti omusolo gwali sasula bulijjo sasula ibanda ayaliganulwamu.
Buli muntu bamubanda.
Exactly.
One person among us going to Uganda Zemakanda is Dismas Kunda.
Ninamabanda baba.
What do you say about that? Ndikwenda kunakuba masimu. Nti you continue borrowing. Ebyenfuna byefuti bijja kubaako mukaire nga tituweewola. But what is the future?
No, my brother Kagaba is saying, the borrowing is going to continue because we have shown that we want to do development investing in getting financial sustainability from internal. Because if we had invested in how we get, like we said in the beginning, I think I said it to myself and Kagawa, that we are taxing only about 2 million people in Uganda. And these are people from Kampala and Wakiso.
And among them, the potential ones, you are again revealed to us. 2 million, they are 800. You have 800 out of the 2 million. Those are the big ones.
Yes.
We expect 100% they are going to bring.
Yes.
The others
there are others who don't. And you know, even the Revenue Authority has its own challenges because sometimes individuals come and say, I want to pay tax. You individually reveal to them that Woroka business kenkora, njagala kusasula omusolo. And then when that business has not worked, maybe during COVID, URA will come and say, you still have to pay tax because you haven't, you registered with us that you have a business. You tell them, but the business is not working because I'm under COVID and I'm not, but they can't understand that.
And after all, started paying, I came voluntarily.
Exactly. So the voluntariness became a very big problem. Yeah. So that concentration of a tax base is a big problem because it becomes a burden. He's the professor of economics, he will tell you. The moment the burden of taxation goes on Sam, on Kagawa, and on Dismas, then we feel that we are the ones who are holding the economy, and sometimes we will also say, you know what, we are giving up. Yeah. So the point is that there are certain structural taxation and financial incentives that the government can get that can reduce them from being dependent on debt, which debts are not.
And some lastly, before. Government, singa elekera private sector niyewola, it will also be good. But even internally, commercial banks are even confident lending government.
Yes.
Ate tesasulirawo. you may find that even most of the non-performing loans from government doesn't pay back easily. So that one curtails the private sector. That's why loans, entrepreneurs and private, they are very expensive. Kubanga banks, they are okay to borrow government because government will pay back. So government, let them leave the internal borrowing for people who borrow to invest.
Internal borrowing, Uganda, were 25.4 trillion, externally 44 trillion. That is like $12.4 billion. So they're dealing $19.54 billion. Mbuza edashika itani donka. Sobola okuba atenga nvawano. Munange ali kutubona. Ife tutewe tulowooziza nti gavumenti esobola okuba atenga ekola. Olunaku olw'eddo ssentebe w'ekibiina kya NRM, Commander in Chief, President w'eggwanga lino erya Uganda, General Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Museveni. Oli ku baba. Amaina ni gy'osinzire?
Amanya gange nze balikaseko.
Osinziddewa?
Seko ndi munnakaseke kulembera olwali lukyama kuzikyamakulala seko nkwebazizza okuweereza obulungi.
Essebo.
N'abakulu abo mbalamusizza nnyo. Naye kiri mu ggwanga kikaabya baganda bange naye ekinneewuunyisiza baganda bamunge mmwe munyirira oba kasabuuni mukajjawa. Uganda zibanja zikola mulimu kizisooke twebuuze kubanga w'otunula Uganda tetulaba ssente zikakikujje
wangi
airtime ewedde.
Sorry, amuzeeko kanfuna ondi oli ku baba. Hello.
Hello.
Amanya ndio osinzidde?
Jawa kutebo.
Kale essimu nawe gyebala.
Kale sebo.
Njogerako ne mwami ani?
Njogerako ne mwami Israel.
Israel osinziddewa?
Sinzire wanaika nga mwe kutukuleta mulamu nkwa.
Yesebo.
Mbe ndi kuvuga nabita ku Shell. Shell petrol station nabona amafuta ngayo. By evening, I predict it will be 6,000. Balance in that hour.
Jona chetuli kwebuza oba niwe byeri kujja otukobereko.
And that hour.
Kai kuyanziza.
That's the biggest worry.
Okay. Ali ku simu. Hello. Baba Tibielo.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I dropped whatever.
Yes, sir. Uganda. Ekiteeso kyo? Naye netwaka si nnungi. Netwaka si nnungi. Oko obadde oteesa otya?
Never nnyo.
Yes, sir. Tugende mu maaso. Yogera Oluganda oba Olunyankole era olukwanguyira. Kale naye tukusimire munonga. Kale ndowooza asembayo. Baba Tibielo. Yenyabu. Juliet yongeza ku maloboozi.
Ebintu ebiri mu Uganda bisabye amaziga kubanga omwaka atuuse okufa.
Funda tugambye mulina emmere.
omwava atuuse okufa mu Uganda neerakeetemita sente endala ogenda
kagaba lwaki onyirira
sajja agambye tunyirira
Uganda ssaawa zino olaba omwana ne waalala otuuka ekikira kola mujjanjaba kati simanyi kikigenda mu maaso.
kale beyanziza waliwo atukobya ati nga tunirira ino ife sabuni tumutoolawo of course bano badda kutwiramu kyenenze tumalize nasho President Dr. Museveni onaku olwaido olwa Sande alijja kwogera ku nsonga dino ndisuubira nti ba presidential advisor muwulire okuteesa kwaife ndowooza ku script y'omukulembeze bwe mubanga yamaze okuwandiikibwa musobola omuwandiikirako ku kashiiti akandi ebiduubo ebivire mu kanso y'onaku olwaleero oba oliawo byasobola okuba ebikulu eno. This must just you all have just one minute expectation in his address as you wind up.
Museveni's address are always known. He's going to say the usual. So there is nothing that is going to say that is going to become hugely changing anything that we are expecting. Nothing.
You've never been his advisor.
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, his advisors, he's the one who advises them. So I don't want to be one of them.
Thank you. Kagaba Steve.
My expectations are tomorrow's presidential address. I think even no more is Ogriku Dajaba in State of Nation address as well. But those tomorrow's address, what I expect the president is going to talk about also, I think it's the usual. Taxes, GDP, what to do, but Abana Uganda bali gwenda solution to the skyrocketing, parishimo to the skyrocketing prices. Bichi government vyetesete sokola. So tusaba president awulirize ku bantu ngabita mubaka ba parliament n'abamuwabula to have a lasting solution oba an immediate solution.
Ndikusuubira omukulembeze ow'eggwanga olunaku olw'eido okutoowa ekiragiro alagire amafuta geereyo ku 138. Ndikusuubira omukulembeze ow'eggwanga okukanga ku bantu abali tunda ebintu bbeeyi yaibwe ate ewe emiwendo egiri siiringi. Era singa kinaaba tukikolebwa kityo, I will be disappointed. Nze Samuel Mwesi.